Okay, so now I'm going to come up at that angle. I'm not going to flip because it's still pretty warm. And I'm just going to work my way up the angle of the lower trapezius, which comes up. Okay. Get some more oil. We're going to bring the arm to the side of the table now, so whatever is smooth. Doesn't have to look exactly like this, but whatever is smooth. Bring the arm out slowly, like this. Get another stone, a medium-sized stone. This is on the end, so it's a little cooler. Heat transfer. Heat transfer. I'm going to put some oil on it so it's nice and slippery and slidey. And I'm going to go ahead and slide out without pinching the skin, just pushing up towards the anterior deltoid. Maybe a little bit of the pecs if you can, and then biceps. And I feel like I can flip the stone, get some more heat. Place it back, and now we'll massage that area. Put your stone back. I'm going to cover my stones now. I feel like they need to be covered. So same thing without pinching, and then you can do leveraging. So here's when your leveraging comes in. You just kind of curl your fingers in and pull out. So this nice piece of ropiness here is what I'm kind of aiming for, all these attachments, tendinous, anterior deltoid to bicep area. Then you can grasp and leverage like this. Careful not to do this too strong because it can kind of hurt, you know. If you have a larger bicep, then you can use two hands and kind of squish together if you need to. Okay, so now we've done that. Now we're going to get the triceps. But first we'll get the teres muscles into the latissimus dorsi, and then we'll get the infraspinatus into the lower trapezius, and then into the rhomboid major attachment to the scapula. First with stones. So I always want to heat transfer. Every area to them is a new area. And just also kind of note the sheen and how much oil there is. So I'm going to cool. And I'm going to go ahead and slow down. Is that all right, the temperature? Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and slightly angle, but it's kind of a little bit more flat on the teres major and teres minor. And I'm going to continue down to latissimus dorsi. And then as I come up, I can flip and just repeat that. So I'm also kind of getting like the side of the body. I feel like it doesn't get really massaged that much. So now I'm just working my way in. And now I'm going to go ahead, and I might even need to just get a new stone. And heat transfer, cool. And then infraspinatus towards lower trapezius. I'm not going to flip yet. It's nice and warm. And I don't want to push into the spine, so I stop short of the spine. Okay. And then I can flip and use an angling and kind of pull rhomboid major attachment a little bit away from that. Yeah, the medial border of the scapula. Maybe flip. And then let's come down, and triceps can kind of be a little bit tender. fatty tissues are mostly, you know, here they can be kind of cold, so I don't really maybe need to switch stones. I could though, so maybe I'll go for a smaller one. This one's not too hot. And I'm just gonna kind of glide without angling. And if you want, you can do a nice big slide and then kind of like roll off. Now we're gonna do massage in that area, so I'm just gonna kind of repeat all that. So first I'm gonna start with my palm. If somebody requests the teres muscles are kind of like out here, then I'll actually use my thumb and do a flat thumb and traipse with it, with the pressure over, and then switch to the palm for the latissimus dorsi. And then if you have a very like a body with a lot of side mass to it or thicker tissues, you could use very short elbow glides, very short ones. Yeah, this is nice. It's quite easy too, as you can see. Can you guys see there too, back there? And then you can even do that all the way down the sides. So, yeah, but it's like short. It just has to be kind of short. You're just really keeping it brief. Okay. Good. And so now we're going to do infraspinatus and down. So you could either palm or you could do that elbow stuff again. So you could take your elbow gliding and just fill in this very short glides on top of the scapula, which is infraspinatus, right? And then to get the lower trapezius, I'll actually push down and traipse my way up. Okay, and then, or you can use a traipsing thumb to push away. So I'm pushing my soft, relaxed thumb, or you could strip towards yourself. So any one of the techniques, right, you're getting the idea of what traipsing is and stripping is and elbow gliding is and palming is, right? And then grasping. So any one of those techniques in any one of these places. So you just kind of have to figure out what their body shape to your hand shape is. And then come down and we'll grasp the triceps. Not too strong because again, they can be tender. But it's nice and wide, so it tends to, I think, feel good. All the way to the elbow, and then take your thumb, and you're gonna traipse down by putting pressure on it. Down the olecranon process into the brachial plexus, and then you can either take your thumbs and kind of strip your thumbs away from each other like this. Or you can take your thumb and squeeze it down and traipse it down. So my underneath hand is very relaxed while my top hand is doing the squeezing. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Come all the way down to the wrist and do like a squeeze on the wrist that kind of pulls it and makes traction. You guys can see, right? Okay. And then place the hand back up so their elbow remains bent, which keeps all this loose. And we're gonna do the hand, which is just fanning and squeezing whatever pressure points you can feel, that lung 4 point. Creating that carpal tunnel. It's just the hands and then coming back up. Now we're gonna hit supraspinatus. Because just when they think they've had it all, here you come with supraspinatus, and it just keeps going.
Keeps getting better.
Yeah, exactly. This is when it's like, okay. So yeah, you have this nice bent arm. I have this stone. They're cooled down a little bit more than they were when we started. Heat transfer a little bit, smaller stone. Take the angle. Since it's such a narrow muscle, an angle here is with a smaller edge of the stone, even though I'm not pushing super hard. So when your client does that, that's fine. Just come back down and bend their arm that you're working on. So I'm gonna come and slide out supraspinatus. This like this, and then from here I can come down upper trapezius down to rhomboids and just repeat that.
On supraspinatus, are you pushing into the fossa at all, or you're basically?
That's exactly where I'm going,
Okay,
just the
you're
fossa,
okay.
exactly.
But it feels very gentle.
Right, the pressure is just an angle, it's not like, and then you're coming down the upper, don't forget this nice upper trapezius that gets missed, right? Get your rhomboids, flip it, and then come on up the neck. So come up the neck with a nice flat stone and all the way into the occiput. If you have the time, you can switch stones and get another stone and begin another hot stone thing on the neck. Okay. Sorry. No, you're good.
What did you do after you angled the supraspinatus? It was something you did right after, and then you went up the neck.
I just came down the upper trapezius and down the rhomboids just to heat this up because we're going to massage this more. So now these stones are getting hotter because they've been covered with the towel. So it looks like this, a flat stone up the neck, up all the way to the occiput, and kind of hold it here and on the hair. And it's nice because there's hair that kind of blocks the heat, so it's okay if it's a little hotter here, and just press your way out. Now we'll do some massaging here. I still like to sit down if I can. So what I'm gonna do is grasp. So grasping kind of looks like traipsing. So we could traipse like this, which we've done. This is really nice. And then what we can do is take your inside hand with your thumb around, and you're gonna grasp with your fingers pulling backwards. But if you have your other hand assisting it, it's much, much easier. So it's not quite a traipse because you're actually actively using the underhand, but the top hand just helps it. So you could do a lot of different lines of this grasping. And it's more detailed because it's like a skinny line, if that makes sense. That makes sense? And then we'll come up and we'll take our thumb and come down the neck. So after the shoulder section, which is section number 2, right now we're on section number 3, which is the neck. So we'll do the neck, and then we'll take your thumbs, get the anterior superior angle of scapula, so the anterior levator scapula and the anterior upper trapezius. So put your thumb up here. This is a really good area. And you can even take your thumb and traipse it down in small lines. So it would look like this underneath. This is good too. And then now if you have somebody that's really thicker tissues or wants deeper tissue, you would then use your elbow, okay? Assuming you could do that, or you could even stand up. Just slightly stand up and then get the upper trapezius and those little lines, kind of like making a line here and then a line here and then a line here, and then coming down. So I can come off of the medial border of scapula or off of the spine or straight down with that. It's very slow elbow gliding. Okay, cool. Come up to the occiput with your fingers, and we're going to connect to the other side of the body. So now I feel like when I'm doing this, I feel like I'm mentally bringing them over here now and connecting the brain to the sides of the body. I feel like I'm kind of connecting the side, you know, like here we go to over here. And so since I'm here, let's do a little stone on the neck and do a little neck work before moving on to the next spot. So it's not too choppy. You okay? Got the medium stone. So what did we do here? We're going to come up the neck and then down. We'll get down the rhomboids too. So a little more oil. Once I move to this side, I feel I have to reapply oil, a little bit of oil again, okay? So heat transfer, maybe some cooling. Cooling is very fast, and then I'm just gonna slow down. I'm gonna come up the neck into the occiput. Flip it. And then get the stone up the neck again. Put it down and kind of reverse that. So now we're going to come down the neck here. Does that make sense? So it's kind of like up, over, and down on the neck. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and just move to the next section, which is section number what? 4 at the low back over here. So just repeating all that on this side, okay? So let's get some stones.
Are they hotter?
They're hot now, yeah, they're super hot. So we're placing them away from the body. Just make sure if you place them on the table that the side of the stone isn't like even near the skin, because if they feel the auxiliary heat from it, they might freak out and think it's a stone. So look, again, a little more oil. I tend to get like this again. Heat transfer. All right, let's go through this like we should have on the other side. So can you walk me through this?
Yes, so you're gonna glide down